Hi everyone, my name is Anya and I am one of the writing and humanities tutors. I am an incoming freshman to Boston University's College of Engineering, and while I will be studying to be an engineer, writing is my passion and I really enjoy writing short stories and poetry in my free time. I actually wrote a novella during my junior year of high school called Rah Rah Rah. During my junior and senior year of high school, I was the leader of our Humanities and Writing Center, and I've helped a lot of students with their writing assignments. And for the past 2 years, I've also served as a teaching assistant to somebody who holds her own writing workshops. I look forward to helping you with your writing assignments. Hi guys, today I am going to be covering how to write one of my favorite types of writing assignments, an emulation. Before we begin, what is an emulation? An emulation is a type of writing assignment that assesses how well you are able to understand an author's style of writing. An emulation requires you to understand an author's use of literary devices, including diction and punctuation. In an emulation, you are essentially trying to mimic and copy an author's style of writing. Before we begin this assignment, we must review the basic literary devices. Examples of popular and frequently used literary devices are metaphors, similes, diction, and foreshadowing. Similes and metaphors are very popular literary devices and are used by nearly every author. They are used in order to show descriptions. The main difference between a simile and a metaphor is that a simile contains the words like or as. An example of a simile is, "The clouds are like pieces of cotton candy." It is a descriptive sentence likening clouds to pieces of cotton candy. An example of a metaphor is, "The bowl of soup was a dragon, spewing hot, fiery steam across the table." Both similes and metaphors compare objects by using the descriptions of other objects. You have to just remember that the main difference that differentiates a simile and a metaphor are the words like or as. Diction is basically the vocabulary an author uses in their novel. It is important to note the types of words, synonyms, and antonyms an author uses. Are they very flowery, descriptive words, or are they more technical words? Keep track of the types of words that an author uses, especially when the author describes people, objects, and places. An example of flowery language is, "The luscious garden, filled with vibrant roses, pastel tulips, and angelic lilies, exuded opulence." You can tell that this is a very flowery sentence because it involves a lot of descriptive details and vivid imagery. Another literary device is foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is a technique that authors use to give the reader a hint about what will happen later on in the story. Authors like to drop hints and clues during their novel, especially clues and hints that are related to the ending of the story. Watch out for foreshadowing and take note of whether the author uses this literary device. It is used very frequently by authors who write mystery novels. Besides watching out for literary devices, each author has their own unique style of writing. One key part of an author's style is how they create the mood and the tone they write in. Do they use descriptions? Do they rely heavily on dialogue in order to create an ambiance? Take note of how an author is setting up the scene, and then apply that technique when you're writing your own emulation. Syntax is simply the way an author constructs a sentence, and it's basically the format an author likes to write sentences in. Does the author use short sentences, or does the author drone on and on with the use of long and lengthy phrases that can even make up an entire paragraph? When you write your own emulation, you'll know to include more descriptive, flowery, long sentences if you know the author is particularly loquacious, or short, simple sentences if you know that your author is more concise. Last, but certainly not least, is the use of motifs. A motif is a repetitive idea, an object. Is there one phrase that the author likes to repeat very often? Is there that one object that just keeps making an appearance in every chapter of the novel? If your author uses multiple motifs, take note of them, and then be sure to write a few of your own motifs in your own emulation. And now, writing the emulation. When you read the novel, look out for the types of literary devices an author uses, and use post-it notes to keep track of the various devices that you stumble upon. By highlighting the various devices and little notes about the author's writing style, you're making it much easier for yourself when it's time to write your emulation. Because instead of scurrying through the novel last minute trying to find whether the author used metaphors or similes, you'll have all of your notes right there and ready to use. Emulations are also a very technical piece of writing, and it really helps if you create a checklist that contains the various literary devices that are used by your author and a few notes about your author's writing style. This is an example of an emulation checklist. Once you include either a part of the author's style or a literary device, you can just check it off. Thank you for listening. I hope that you guys learned a lot, and I wish you luck with your own writing assignments, and I hope that we can work more together in the future. Thank you.